Hello everyone, very good morning once again and welcome to your favorite channel again, that is StudyIQ English. And let's begin the Hindu analysis for the date 5th of April 2025, right? So the things, the headlines, the news for us today with regard to our UPSC CSE, the first one, that is the biggest one for the day as well. It's the meeting of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and so-called Bangladeshi Prime Minister, President, leader, representative, etc., etc. I don't know. Name is not so good, Muhammad Yunus. Okay, they set aside the differences and the whole talks on border security, minorities issues, and the extradition of Sheikh Hasina from the state of Bangladesh. Well, to discuss the whole thing, that is a particular topic that is with regard to two different subjects, that is, yes, the internal security as well as obviously the international relations. Now, international relations, the first parameter of this topic. Bangladesh, which was not even an independent state till 1971, it was only because of India and the braveheart soldiers of Indian Army along with other, that is the force, Air Force as well. They provided the much needed on ground support, military support along with the government to the militant group which was militant in the name when it comes to the point of view of Pakistan, that is East Pakistan, West Pakistan basically, but a body which was fighting for the independence or liberation of the Bengali people of Bangladesh, right? So the name was Mukti Bahini. Mukti Bahini, simply just like the Congress of India, the 1885 Congress of India. I'm not mentioning or referring the political ideology of Congress after 1947. Just before 1947, how Congress was. Congress was not just an organization that represented politics. It was an organization that was working day and night, that is 24 hours, for the sake of independence of our country. Right? So in the very same sense, on the very same ideology, inside East Pakistan region, that is modern day Bangladesh now, there used to be an organization that was termed as Mukti Bahini. Okay, and this Mukti Bahini had no external support, and neither they was having many of the advanced weapons, neither the proper food supplies, medicinal supplies, or the ground level support inside the East Pakistan region, and their movement was not having much vastness or greatness until and unless they got the support from us, that is India. And with the help, they reached the moment where we can say that yes, they were liberated, that is they were got now that is they got independence or freedom basically from the hostilities of the West Pakistan. So for the next around 5 decades, India Bangladesh relations, they have been going on a very nicer note. Yes, there were tensions with regard to the land boundary as well as the water sharing of the Teesta River. It's not like that there were no tensions, everything was fine. Yes, tensions were there, but still relations were almost very, very good. Not almost, it was very, very good. Right? We played the role of, a guardian or a big brother, being a bigger economy, being a bigger country in South Asia. We provided as much as amount of support as we can, and for which Bangladesh was really thankful as well until 2024, until July 2024, right? So the all of the factors that we need to consolidate all in one together, here we have. So what was the name of the organization in Bangladesh that was fighting for independence? That was named as Mukti Bahini. Okay, yes, the word is correct. That's Bahini. It's not V, it's B. Okay, it's not Mukti Bahini. That's correct. It's Mukti Bahini. Right? So, Mukti Bahini. Right. This is the name. Okay, fighting for what? For the liberation of Bangladesh. Right. There happened an incident. We talk about the events. It was March 1971. Okay, March 1971, when Pakistani army launched an offensive, uh, what do we say, a particular program, okay, or operation, okay, that was termed as what? Operation Searchlight. Operation Searchlight. In the name of this operation, what the UN reports have to state. UN reports. Okay, this is a report given by the international organization named as United Nations. It is no other organization. Okay, justified by the other organizations as well, like for example Amnesty International. Okay, with this Operation Searchlight itself, it is stated that nearly means like the exact figures will touch nearly a lakh around a lakh of the people, okay, or lakhs of the people basically. They were either murdered or killed brutally. Women, they were raped. Children, they were not spared even, right? Many of them, they were, kept under the subject of extreme torture, a torture that is absolutely nowhere justified. Well, the word torture itself is unjust, okay, unjustified. So, this is what Pakistani army did. The figures, they were in lakhs. Thousands of women, from small girls to adolescent to teenage to senior aged women, they were raped. From small kids to senior age to senior citizens to everyone, they were murdered. No gender discrimination was done by the Pakistani army at that time. They were at that time absolutely gender neutral. They were sparing no one, right? So in lakhs of the figure they are. That is the people, those who were destroyed with their lives, properties, kins, families, relatives, etc., etc. And in that particular hostile conditions, it was just the Indian armed forces as well as the Indian government who came into the rescue of the Bangladeshi people, so-called East Pakistani people. Okay, and we provide all the required civic supplies as well as the other military supplies to Mukti Bahini. And hence, they were able to raise up their voices and they were able to gain independence as well. If we wouldn't have been there, Bangladesh wouldn't have been existing so far even. Still today, it would have been East Pakistan only, right? But yes, the people, they do forget, because it is now 5 decades older story. And these unthankful people, ungrateful people are now spilling all the poison against India. What's the reason, dear Bangladesh? Why Mohammed Yunus and its allies, along with the other member of their organization and their countrymen, from young school going kids to college going kids to the service class and the business class people there, what wrong we did with you? It's a big question. What's the matter? Where did we, were not able to provide you with the proper support? Where did we fell short? And what atrocities we as Indian nation we have performed against you, that is Bangladesh or its people? We have tried our best to make you, okay, our best ever partner in the South Asian region. Our trade has reached billions and billions of dollars of surplus every year. But the point is, still, you have tilted towards China or Pakistan. The point is, it's not the people of Bangladesh, it's the dirty politics of Bangladesh. Just right now, this guy, the ungrateful guy who's shaking hands with our Prime Minister, couple of days back, a week back actually, what we can simply state, he went to China. His statements inside Beijing against India, it was not less than any certain type of a deadly venom or a poison given by the representative of a country, independent country, against that country, because of which they are having this tag, that independent nation. And now he's here to meet Mr. Prime Minister of India, right? and then see how happy. So the point is, where are they meeting? There is a meeting going on in Bangkok that is called as Bangkok Summit, and this summit is referring to an organization that is termed as BIMSTEC. Okay, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral, Technical and Economic Cooperation. Presently, 7 members. They are being Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Thailand, and Myanmar. So, BIMSTEC, 7 countries. Let's go ahead with the history of these 7 countries as well. Okay, this BIMSTEC as well, sorry. So, it's a regional organization, first of all, that fosters the economic and technical cooperation among the countries of Bay of Bengal. And apart from that, when you talk about the history of BIMSTEC, okay, so it was founded through the Bangkok Declaration in the year 1997. And when it was founded, the founding members, how many were there and what it was called? So it was called as BISTEC. Okay, it was named as BISTEC, BIST-EC. Full form being Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. Okay, BIST, BIST, Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. Okay, economic cooperation, that stands for EC, right? And then later on, when Myanmar joined, it was once again termed as BIMSTEC. Okay, but the BIMSTEC's full form was at that time M, that is Myanmar. It was not Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical Economic Cooperation. Till Myanmar joined it, it was termed once again as BIMSTEC. Okay, but it was Bhutan, okay, Bangladesh, India, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand Economic Cooperation. And then later on in the year 2004, Nepal and Bhutan became the members. And once again, the name, the same pronunciation, the same spellings, that is BIMSTEC only, but the acronym changed. That is now from Bangladesh, India, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand Economic Cooperation. That was BIMSTEC again. But now this time it is another BIMSTEC, that is Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. Right? So this is the history of BIMSTEC. And now, talking about the border, India-Bangladesh border, the biggest point of discussion that has took place between Indian Prime Minister and I don't know what he is there in what position, Muhammad Yunus. Sometimes he call himself as the acting Prime Minister, President, Supreme Commander, Leader, Interim Government Leader, etc., etc. His position is also even not clear, and he is bloody representing a nation. Okay, right? Means like irrationality at its best, immaturity at its best. This is simply what we can say, right? So, with regard to the biggest topic of discussion, it was the border issue. We know it very well that Bangladesh is absolutely in the middle of our northeast. And because of this geographical position of Bangladesh and because of our northeast being, connected to the mainland India, the other parts of India, okay, with Bangladesh in between, Bangladesh and its insurgents, that is their not so good people, they get an absolute freedom. Not absolute freedom, but yes, a good sort of freedom or a good sort of loophole to enter illegally inside India. With regard to the intelligence reports, when we talk about the reports that have been given officially to the public by the Intelligence Bureau and other organizations of the country as well, around more than 3 million, right? 30 lakhs, that is, or even more, illegal migrants are there, those who are residing in the states of Assam, West Bengal, Tripura, Mizoram, Odisha, and other parts of the country. Okay, Assam, West Bengal, Tripura, hitting with the biggest, or even Mizoram, right, hitting with the biggest, being hit with the biggest illegal insurgents, those who have now grabbed the land in India, occupied the land in India with all of the coercive and illegal actions they could perform. And now the local communities inside our northeast, inside our fantabulous northeast, they are now being troubled. As we have seen how the issues of Kuki and the Kuki and Metis communities, they are going on, as what is the issue of the Kokboraks, as what is the issue in the other areas of Meghalaya and Mizoram. right? So what are the problems with regard to the Bruriang community? Okay, why they are being displaced, and who are these people inside Northeast, those who are not from Northeast, those who do not have any race belonging to Northeast, but still they have got the permanent residency along with all the legal documents as well as the land with themselves, right? So, obviously, these are not Indian people. They are all Bangladeshis. And these Bangladeshis now they are performing their all hostile intentions, their all hostile actions, and disturbing the inner peace of our country. The reason why they are able to penetrate so much in India is because of the land boundary. India and Bangladesh, they share largest length of the land boundary, that is around 4096.7 kilometers. But the problem is this all 4096.7 kilometers of the land fenced? Is it everywhere covered with the boundary and the fencing has been done? Every particular location, every inch of these 4096.7 kilometers, they are under the surveillance and patrolling? Unfortunately, no. The fact is, here, out of this 4096 kilometers, only 3141 kilometers have been fenced. Okay, that means still nearly 1000 kilometers of the boundary is there between India and Bangladesh that is not fenced, that is having no proper fencing, no proper wickets installed over there. And this makes this ridiculous Bangladeshis, terrorists actually I will call them, to enter inside the pious land of our Northeast and poison it, destroy it, disturb the internal peace and fraternity of the nation. Unfortunately, yes, it has been happening. And unfortunately, so far yet, we are not able to come to any proper sort of solution. Or let's say it could be it could be even the severe case of firstly the ignorance, or maybe the reluctancy to indulge into the politics of Northeast, as because it will not provide much of the political mileage towards the other parts of the nation, which provides you greater of the seats in Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. Well, you know what? This is what dirty politics is. Just because the seven sisters of our Northeast, they do not possess much of the representation or the seats inside the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So that's why neither of the political parties, neither of them, whatsoever the name is, A, B, or C, right? Or D, whatsoever, right? None of them they are involved. None of them they are much interested. They do enter there whenever there is a state elections or the state legislative assemblies elections are going on, and they will provide some wonderful speeches. Okay, that my herd belongs to here, my land belongs here, my that, my this, yeah, wo, etc., etc. But yes, when it comes to the proper solution, it will be, not the political personalities, neither their ideologies that will enter Northeast. Manipur is an example. Insurgency in Nagaland is an example. The insurgencies in Assam is an example, right? And the day is not so far when these so-called insurgents will terrorize the whole of Northeast, right? So it's not because of just politics. It's also just because of the society as well. Okay, that is also we as Indian citizens also are not much that aware and active. This is also the problem, right? So the point is insurgency, that is illegal immigrants from Myanmar, Bangladesh, and could be other nations as well, right? And what is their biggest opportunity? This 1,000 kilometers, around 1,000 kilometers of unfenced boundary between the two nations. And what are the states that share boundaries with Bangladesh? So these are some wonderful, fantabulous, delightful states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram, along with West Bengal. Okay, highest boundary being shared by West Bengal, that is 2,216 kilometers, right? So as you can see, the 5 states: West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura. So these are what, the boundaries. And the biggest concern is with regard to the boundary of West Bengal. More than 2,000 kilometers. And the biggest unfenced boundary also lies here in the areas of West Bengal, right? So this is all what with regard to the issue of Bangladesh, right? So let's move forward to the next topic, next headline for the day. Pulwama takes a leap to meet tulip bulbs demand. The name Pulwama, whenever it comes, it reminds us of the horrific, deadly incidents 14th February 2019 when we lost 40 of our soldiers in a Fedayeen attack, the terrorist attack basically. So yes, Pulwama has gained an image or certain type of particular representation that is landmarked with horrific incidents. And we feel ashamed of it. That two of them, they were able to, just penetrate inside the valley of Kashmir and then perform a Fedayeen attack, claiming the lives of 40 of our soldiers, right? This was not something very good. This was not something we must be, sitting very relaxed. Okay, it happened. No. It was an attack on not just 40 soldiers of our nation. It was an attack on all of us. With this, they gave us the message as well that you are not even safe in your home. Whenever we want, we will come and we will kill you people like this only. Right? So, coming to the news here today, right, that is Pulwama. Now this time it's not about that horrific incidents, it's about the tulip garden. And another area of concern for us, another area of stress for us. Though Pulwama, that is the tulip garden there, Indira Gandhi Memorial Garden that has been now changed to, okay, is a famous hotspot, tourist hotspot. If you are there in the Kashmir Valley, Kashmir region, yes, you go to Gulmarg, Sonmarg, Srinagar, that Shikara ride of Dal Lake and many other locations. And apart from that, all those wonderful locations, here comes the tulip garden as well. And the farmers there, the nursery owners, the nursery planters there, they do perform the best to grow tulips as well as other flowers and to make the garden have this mesmerizing view. Right? Yes, it is. A very wonderful view. You know what this whole news has to state? Even though, see how the big irony it is for our farming sector. Once again, this time the farming sector is involved with regard to the reference here is not with regard to the cropping, but with regard to the flowerings. Right? Tulip is a flower that is grown most here in our Pulwama region and as well as other parts of the Kashmir Valley. It is a garden there as well based on the wonderful mesmerizing views and fragrance of the tulips. But in order to keep this garden dense, in order to keep this garden full with the tulip flowers, what are we dependent on? Just the Indian farmers, the nursery planters? No. It's the country of Netherlands. Another black spot on our agricultural system, on our agriculture basically. There is a garden named as Tulip Garden. Garden it is. Tulip Garden, right? The farmers, they are growing tulip bulbs there, planting it as well. But the point is, it's still not enough to make garden look dense and full with the tulip flowers. And every year, in millions of figures, we have to import tulips from where? Tulip bulbs from where? Country of Netherlands. How much ignorance we will represent every corner, from internal security to agriculture. Every single corner, we are ignorant. The farmers are there who can grow tulip bulbs. Provide them with utmost amount of the support they need. You will not have to depend on the country of Netherlands or any other to get your products, agricultural products that are being grown in your own home state. Right? So here, the whole news that we need to understand, just one thing. Tulip garden, Pulwama, Kashmir. Okay, fine. Famous for the tulip bulbs, tulip flowers only. That's perfect. Okay, but what's the genesis here? What's the main theme of this whole big paragraphs or the news article? That is still we are dependent on the country of Netherlands, right? So let's see about the tulips. It's ignorance, big ignorance. Dear government, if anyways you hear my voice, if anyways you hear what we discuss, please, two things or literally four things. Keep the dirty politics or your political mileage aside and please do provide focus here. The first and foremost is the agriculture. Then second comes the internal security, third comes the education, and fourth comes the health. It's not about chronology that is 1, 2, 3, 4. They are all four with regard to one single rank only of the need of the priority, right? But yes, the four of them: agriculture, internal security, education, and health. And the biggest compromise our politicians, our political parties, our politics do is with all of these four only. Irony once again at its best. The 4 points of priorities that shouldn't have been compromised at any cost. These are the only 4 priority sectors that are compromised by each and every party every now and then in every state of our country. From Kashmir to Tamil Nadu, from Nagaland to Arunachal, from Gujarat to Rajasthan. Right? Let's be mute and deaf here. अपनी जिंदगी अच्छी चल रही है हाँ enjoy our life is going on ना enjoy tension नहीं इतना so here tulips yeah good morning sir good morning one doubt yes dear tell me what's the doubt go on in that meantime you type that out I'll just complete this point here tulips okay as you can see this is the tulip bulb okay that is the particular element through which the tulips they do grow okay and what are the tulips they are popular and widely recognized type of spring blooming flowers okay so what are the type okay so they are the spring blooming flower that belongs to the genus tulipa okay so they belong to the family named as tulipa okay so they are known for their bright colors and cup-shaped flowers with a wide variety of vibrant hues, including red, yellow, pink, purple, and even multicolored varieties. So here is what tulips or tulipa. Okay, they were first grew in South and Central Asia, and apart from that, they reached to the boundaries or the territories of Europe as well. Okay, so initially they belonged to the region of South Asia as well as what we can say South Central Asia. Okay, South to Central Asia, but later on by the time period of the 1500s or when the new sea route, okay, thanks to Vasco da Gama, people like Vasco da Gama who got the new sea route to Asia, from Asia to Europe, okay. So many of the things, those who were indigenous to one single location were now able to translocate to other locations as well, right? So where those flowers will be there, they are majorly planted in the Indira Gandhi tulip garden in Pulwama. Okay. Apart from that, other locations wherever they want. But specifically, the flowers, they are imported from Netherlands. Okay, the tulip bulbs, actually, not flowers, the bulbs. That is basically the seeds of it. Okay, they are imported from Netherlands. And then they are planted here in the tulip garden Pulwama. Right? So, Indira Gandhi Memorial Tulip Garden. Okay, so we have got it. Indira Gandhi Memorial Tulip Garden. Okay, previously it was named in the name Model Floriculture Center. Okay, established in the year 2007, Indira Gandhi Memorial Tulip Garden. Initial name it was in Model Floriculture Center. Okay, now largest tulip garden in Asia. Remember this thing. Largest tulip garden in Asia, importing tulip bulbs from Netherlands. Sarcasm at its best. Okay. Next, situated foothills of the Zabrawan range over the Dal Lake. Okay, with the overview of Dal Lake. So, what is the whole logic? Tulip Garden, Indira Gandhi Memorial Tulip Garden, actual name Model Floriculture Center, established in the year 2007. Apart from that, the largest tulip garden of Asia. Okay, situated near the Dal Lake. Okay, adjacent to the Dal Lake. Right. So this is all with regard to the Indira Gandhi Memorial Tulip Garden. Remember, guys, the actual name was Model Floriculture Center, established in the year 2007. And yes, the biggest highlight, that is largest, yes, largest tulip garden of India. No, not just India, Asia, whole of Asia, right? So here we go with the next news. Manipur crisis. Kuki and Zo meaty civil society groups to meet in Delhi today. Yes, that is right now when we are having our session. Okay. A meeting has been concluded. That is Manipur with regard to the two different communities that are under war or battle or clashes since more than 2 years. Okay. The one community is the Kuki. Okay, the other one is Meiti, right? So Kuki Zo and Meiti community. These are the two wonderful communities, I will say, with vibrant and very much what we can say beautiful traditions. But unfortunately, right now they are in news not because of their vibrancy or not because of their richness in the culture or tradition, but because of an event that is considered as clashes. Okay, so two communities, they are in continuous clash since last 2 years, and since so far we have not been able to establish any sort of solution and restore the concepts of normalcy there in Manipur. Last year it happened that the delegates from both the communities, they were being called, okay, to have some discussion over the establishment of peace and end of the violence. But the fact is, what happened, the differences between the two communities grew at that larger area where the representatives of both the communities, they denied sitting on one par level and discuss any such thing. Okay. Yeah, largest but imported from Netherlands. That's true. Okay, yes, Gopal, welcome dear. My name is Praveen Mishra. Okay. So, the cookies though and the meaty communities, right? They are today, probably we will see a news, probably. I'm not so, trying to give any such type of the clear cut message or the clear cut notification. I'm just giving the speculation that today, by end of the day probably, we could be given with the news that yes, there is an agreement or a pact signed between the two communities, and it will be now the start of restoration of peace. The president's rule shall end soon, and the government should be established once again. The suspended government should be established once again, and yes, for sure, the peace and the normal life of the people, that should continue. So this is what we are expecting to have today. Yes, dear Anupali, please tell me what's your big doubt. Okay, so what we have seen just a month back, Manipur CM Biren Sharma, he stood out. Okay, he gave up his shoes of the chief minister of the state of Manipur, and officially president's rule has been imposed in Manipur. So the news that we need to discuss here, president's rule, that is Article 356, also termed as governor's rule or state emergency. But the fact that we need to focus here, the term governor's rule or state emergency is nowhere mentioned. Okay, constitutional emergency is nowhere mentioned. Okay, the president's rule, also known as constitutional emergency or state emergency. However, the Indian constitution does not use the word emergency for this situation. Okay, so president's rule can be invoked in any state under two different articles, that is Article 356 and Article 365. The one case where the state has failed to comply with the instructions given by the center, and in the other condition, that is when the constitutional machinery has failed to perform in the state as well. Okay, so these are the two conditions under Article 356 and 365 respectively, okay, with regard to the imposition of residence rule inside any state. Okay, so basically it's a period when the autonomy of the state government is temporarily suspended and the central government assumes the direct control over the state's administration, including legislature. Right? So this is what President's rule is all about. Now the other features. Grounds of imposition. So as discussed, Article 365 and 356, these are the two articles. Okay, here we can see as well. But the fact is, Article 355 is also in the action here. As we have already discussed it in our polity class when we were discussing about the features of the Indian Constitution, there we discussed about the Indian federalism, the federation India follows. That is, we are not absolutely federal, we are quasi-federal. And being a quasi-federal nation, we have understood that in India, center is more powerful as compared to the states. Center possess more authority, more zones of power, or a bigger horizons of power as compared to the states. And because of this, because of the virtue of holding bigger authority or the powers, under Article 355, it is the duty of the center to protect the states from any type of external or internal disturbances. Right? Okay, so what Article 355 has to state, okay, it imposes a duty on the center to protect every state against external aggression and internal disturbance, and to ensure that the government of every state is carried on in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. So being the big brother, it is the duty of the center to protect the states from any kind of external aggression or any sort of internal disturbance. Okay, if any of them happens, then in that case, using Article 356 and 365, the center can impose president's rule in any state. And yes, the bigger thing, the state government is not dismissed. Remember, whenever the president's rule has been imposed, the state governments, they are not dismissed. They are suspended. A temporary suspension happens. That's it. Okay? Nothing more or less than that. The governments, they are not dismissed, just a temporary suspension happens. Okay. What is the other protocols that are needed to be followed while implementing president's rule? So parliamentary approval of president's rule. First of all, what are they? Anupali dear, I'm waiting for a doubt. You have got a big doubt, and it has been a couple of minutes since you have typed this one, and I don't know how much big doubt it is that you are still typing. So I request, just please go ahead with the doubt, or it is there. I'm not able to see. Okay, not yet. So parliamentary approval of president's rule. A proclamation imposing the president's rule must be approved by both the houses of parliament within 2 months from the date of its issue. Let's say, for example, okay, today, for example, just for an instance, take today, that is 5th of April 2025. There is a state, okay, state being whatever XYZ, and in this state today, president has imposed the president's rule or the state emergency or whatsoever, okay, using any article under Article 356 or 365, whatever, okay, simply the president's rule. So from today, that is from 5th of April 2025, 60 days will be calculated. Okay, that is by 5th of May, it will be 30 days, and by 4th of June, it will be 60 days. So by maximum 60 days, okay, 60 days as in yes, 2 months. So from here 2 months, that will be nearly 4th of May 2025. 25. This proclamation of President's rule must be passed by the whole of Parliament. Okay, that is Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha. In case this doesn't happen, right? Then what will happen? On the very 61st day, that is by, let's say, 5th of June, President's rule in that very state wherever it has been imposed will cease to exist. Okay, that will end automatically. In case the Parliament fails, right? The Parliament fails to do so, then immediately on the start of the 61st day, the President's rule will will end from that state, and the state government which was temporarily suspended will be restored automatically without any particular resolution or an action, right? Okay. Sir, every day I explain Hindu. Yes, dear. 9 a.m. sharp in the morning. Okay, we have got our classes daily. Okay, sir, what you have said about that news, I don't able to understand. One more time, please, sir. Anupali, dear, which news, dear? Means like if you can specify which news you are referring here. Okay, so that will be better for me because I have mentioned couple of newses already. Okay. Or else wait, let me complete the further of the topics as well, and then after that I will just go ahead with the revision, right? Don't worry. So here we go. I hope you are clear with the President's rule, the proclamation, and the parliamentary approval. It should come within 60 days. Okay, 60 days of proclamation. Okay, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha must pass the bill, must pass the resolution. Okay, and in case, let's say, once the President's rule has been imposed in any state, and in that meantime, Lok Sabha has been dissolved as well, without passing the proclamation, what will happen? Then in that case, okay, simply in that case, what will happen? The President's rule will keep going on inside that state. The only condition is whenever the fresh Lok Sabha has been elected. So from the date of its first sitting, 30 days will be calculated. 30 days more will be calculated. And from there, the proclamation of President's rule shall be passed. Okay, so let's say, for example, let's understand it in detail. The time limit, for instance, what we have kept is 4th of May 2025. This is what the time limit is. Okay. And in that meantime, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they should pass the bill, resolution. Okay, not the bill, sorry, the resolution. But let's say, once again, for instance, before 4th of May, like by 5th June, okay, for example, by 5th June, due to any reasons, because of the completion of the tenure, okay, or because of the passage of the no confidence motion or the government's resignation, whatsoever, okay, due to any reason, by 5th June, before passing the resolution, Lok Sabha dissolves. Okay, by 5th June, Lok Sabha dissolves. Okay, now what will happen? The fresh elections will take place. Okay, elections result will come. Okay, the government will be formed, and it might take more than a month. So in that case, this principle is violated of passing of the resolution by 4th of May. So for this, the Constitution has also been very active. Okay. From 5th of June onwards, the resolution from Lok Sabha will be halted, and the President's rule shall continue to be in operation in that very particular state. And let's say the fresh Lok Sabha has now got the first sitting on 5th of May. So now the calculation will be 30 days. Okay, sorry. 5th of May, that is 30 days. That is once again 4th of, it will be, let's say, June, right? So no, June, it will be July, sorry. So they have got resitting on 5th of May, okay, and now the 30 days, it shall be from 4th of July. Okay. This is how the provisions they will work. right? So 30 days from the first sitting of the freshly constituted Lok Sabha. If in case the Lok Sabha has dissolved before passing the resolution of the proclamation of the president's rule in any state, in case, right? So, next, duration of the president's rule. If approved by both the houses of the parliament, it continues to be in operation for 6 months and it can be renewed for not more than 3 years. That is, every year it can be renewed twice. That is, it can be renewed not more than 6 times, right? Once the parliament has approved the proclamation of president's rule in any state, the president's rule continue to be in operation for 6 months at a time and it can be renewed every 6 months. For how much time period it can be renewed? Not more than 3 years. Okay, the 3 years is the time limit that has been kept. But there are always exceptions. So 44th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1978 added a new provision. And what is that provision? That president's rule can extend beyond 1 year by 6 months at a time only when the following two conditions are fulfilled. Okay, let's say 3 years have been passed in any state when president's rule has been imposed, but still elections are not able to be conducted. So, in that case, according to the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1978, okay, two conditions must be fulfilled to extend the president's rule for 1 year, 6 months at a time for sure, and maximum for 1 year. Okay, what are these two conditions? First, the proclamation of national emergency is in operation in the whole of India or the whole or any part of that particular state. If national emergency is going on throughout the whole of India or in that state as well. President's rule is also there, national emergency is also there. Okay. Second, in case election commission certifies that the general conditions are not good enough for the elections to the legislative assembly of the state. Okay. So these are the two conditions. First, when the national emergency is going on, and second, when simply when the election commission of India, not the state election commission of India certifies that the normal conditions are not good enough, okay, to carry on with the elections for the state legislative assembly, okay, and hence the president's rule can be extended for a period of 1 year, right? So coming to the next news, the next headline or the next topic for the day, that is Supreme Court directs the CEC to survey forests in Agasthyamalai for encroachments. Supreme Court has directed CEC. Now, what is this CEC? Chief Election Commissioner, right? Obviously, we know CEC as an acronym to Chief Election Commissioner only. But no, Chief Election Commissioner is also CEC, but here CEC is termed as Centrally Empowered or Central Empowered Committee. Okay, when we talk about CEC, here it is Central Empowered Committee. Okay, they have ordered, who have ordered? Supreme Court has ordered or directed the Central Empowered Committee to survey forests of a biosphere reserve, one of the largest biosphere reserve we have got, that is known as Agasthyamalai. Okay, for encroachments as in illegal land acquisition. Okay, so Agasthyamalai, one of the India's biosphere reserve, 18 biosphere reserves what we have got, and one of that is Agasthyamalai with mesmerizing view, rich flora and fauna, and apart from that, very much importance it possesses when it comes to maintenance of the greenery of this whole planet, right? So Agasthyamalai, a particular biosphere reserve that falls in two distinct states, that is Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Okay, the two southern states of our country, that is the state of Tamil Nadu on one side and state of Kerala on the other side. Okay, so what is Agasthyamalai? Agasthyamalai is basically a biosphere reserve as well. Apart from that, okay, it is falling in two different states, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. And right now, Supreme Court has directed the Central Empowered Committee to look forward, okay, for the encroachments that are happening inside there. Okay, so as what we can go ahead with the features. So you can see this is what the exact location of Agasthyamalai. Okay, so on one side you can see Tamil Nadu, on the other you can see Kerala, and this is what exactly this location is, the Agasthyamalai Biosphere Reserve. Okay, so exactly dividing the land boundary of two distinct states, that is Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So talking about the features of the Agasthyamalai, what we have got, very, very important guys, so please mark it very carefully. Okay, so Agasthyamalai Biosphere Reserve is a protected area and a biodiversity hotspot located on the southernmost tip of the Western Ghat mountain range in India, which was considered a biosphere reserve in the year 2001. Okay, which year it was declared a biosphere reserve? 2001, spanning between the states of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Right. So these are the features for the Agasthyamalai, and the next feature that we need to mark here, okay, it's that Chenkurinji, the name. Very, very important name, guys. Chenkurinji. It was in too much of the news as well. What is Chenkurinji? Official or the scientific name? Gluta travancoricum. It is a species endemic to the Agasthyamalai Biosphere Reserve. Basically, it is a flowering plant. Okay, what is the name? Chenkurinji. Okay, what it is? It is basically a flowering plant. Okay, known for its medicinal properties, including its use in lowering blood pressure and treating arthritis. So the species flowering pattern has been observed to extent due to climate change, highlighting the ecological impact of environmental shifts in the region. So basically, what is the name? Chenkurinji. Okay, what is Chenkurinji? It is a flowering plant. Okay, a plant that is also having flowers, basically known for its medicinal purposes, for its medicinal properties. Okay, specifically used to treat the patients, those who are suffering from arthritis, as well as low blood pressure, not the higher blood pressure. Okay, make this thing very clear. Okay, lowering the blood pressure. Okay, and the arthritis, right? So both of the two illness, both of the two diseases, they can be treated with the help of a flowering plant. What is the name? Chenkurinji. What is the scientific name? Gluta travancoricum. Okay, so this is what the Agasthyamalai Biosphere Reserve has to gift. One more gift, actually, apart from the greenery and the oxygen, obviously, flora and fauna including, the another flora, Chenkurinji, right? So, talking about the Central Empowered Committee, the news, okay, which gave us the topic Central Empowered Committee. It was set up in the 2002, in the year 2002, and it was reconstituted in the year 2008. So, initially, means like why there is a word reconstituted. Central Empowered Committee, when it was firstly made in the year 2002, it was an ad hoc committee. Ad hoc as in temporary, not a permanent one, right? But by the year 2008, Supreme Court stated it should be a permanent standing body. Okay, it should not be an ad hoc one, that is temporary one. It should be a permanent standing body. So that is why the year 2008 has been mentioned here, as it was now declared what? It was declared absolutely a permanent one. So it served as what? It serves the purpose. What purpose? What purpose? What is their existence basically based on? So it served as a watchdog for issues pertaining to environmental conservation and compliances of the protocols. Right? So basically, what is the logic? The logic stands absolutely clear. Central Empowered Committee. We can also call it, means like for our understanding, it is Central Empowered Committee only. But with this E, try to memorize or try to recall environment as well. So Central Empowered Committee, that E is empowered, but yes, that E is also mentioning the environment. Right? So it served as a watchdog for the issues pertaining to environmental issues, environmental conservation, and the compliances of the protocols of the other environmental acts, from Wildlife Protection Act to Environmental Protection Act and so on. Okay. So according to the Union Government, okay, ministry's notification released, okay, It is not an ad hoc committee. It is now a permanent body, okay, that will be looking after the environmental issues. And what is the membership or the composition all about? It will have a chairperson with experience of not less than 25 years in the field of environment, forest and wildlife, or proven administrative experience of not less than 25 years in the central or state governments. Okay, so a chairperson should be a very senior personality of experience of not less than 25 years in two different dimensions, in either of dimensions, in either of two different dimensions. First one, 25 years in the field of environment, forest and climate change or wildlife protection, okay, serving as a individual officer or a particular organization's chief, something like that, okay. And secondly, 25 years of experience of administration either under the central government or state government. Which state government? Any state government, doesn't matter, okay. So he or she will be nominated by whom? By the central government only. It will be not the state governments or the governor, Supreme Court, High Court or the parliament. No, it will be central government only will be nominating the chairperson of the CEC, that is Central Empowered Committee. And what will be the tenure of the chairperson as well as the other members? It will be 3 years. Okay, just the same way National Commission for Scheduled Caste members and Scheduled Tribes members or the backward classes members they are having, okay, 3 years. So here also the CEC chairperson will be having a tenure of 3 years, and apart from that, who will be the concerned authority to appoint the chairperson of the CEC? It will be only and only the central government, right? The next big thing here, age limit. Generally what we have seen, age limits, they range from 62 years and then going to 65 years. Okay, 65 years is what the maximum bar is in any government services or the constitutional services, right? But here in CEC, you are watching an extra point here, different standing thing here. That is, the age limit is not 62 or 65, it is 66 years, right? And the position should not be less than the rank of the additional secretary. Okay, so what is the retirement age for the chairperson of CEC? It is 66 years. Okay, that's the simple thing. So a plane you're watching here, right? A plane that is used by the aviation industry of India to train the pilots. Okay, so this is the plane that is termed as Hansa. What are these planes for? These are the planes for the training. Okay, training the freshly appointed or actually freshly by the very fresh pilots, those who have become. Okay, means they will work for 3 years there in the Central Empowered Committee. Okay. So coming to the next news, that is the Hansa trainer planes. Hansa trainer planes, they are for whom? For the freshly recruited pilots, those who are undergoing training, right? So in order to provide them the flying skills, provide them with flying skills and all of the further of the required protocols or any type of further actions, okay? So it will be a trainer plane, okay, that is named as Hansa. Okay, and why it is in news? It's in news here. CSIR, that is Central Council of the Industrial Research, has signed a deal with National Aeronautics Limited, okay, to transfer the firm to make Hansa trainer planes, right? So guys, the only thing that you need to remember, Hansa trainer planes will now be made by CSIR and NAL. CSIR being Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, NAL being National Aeronautics Limited. These are the two bodies or the organizations or simply the institutions, those who are now given the responsibility of manufacturing the Hansa planes totally indigenously. Okay, that is totally made in India, right? What is the name? Hansa trainer planes. And Hansa trainer planes, Hansa planes, whenever you encounter the term, just remember these are the planes for the sake of what? For the sake of training the freshly recruited pilots, right? So this brings us to the next headline, the next topic for us from the Hindu today, that is landmine. Okay, hunting. The landmine hunting rat in Cambodia sets a world record. Okay, yeah, it's not a misprint or a mistype. You are reading it right. Correct news. Absolutely. Landmine hunting rat. Before entering into the topic, this particular rat, African pouched rat, it is from the family. Okay, his name is Ronin. Okay, this rat, what you are watching, okay, his name is actually Ronin. Okay, Ronin, a giant African pouched rat, has tracked down 110 landmines and 15 other potentially deadly war remnants since his deployment to the northern Priya Vihar province in August 2021. Okay, the organization known as OPOPO, APOPO, has given this statement, right? Rat is able to find out landmines. How many landmines this rat has found since 2021? 115. So you can understand how many casualties this rat has, defended. So track down how many? It is 109, sorry, not 115. 109 and 15 other. Okay, so nearly 124 deadly war weapons. This rat, one single rat, has identified. Okay, what's his name? The name is Ronin, right? And which family he belongs to? He belongs to the family of giant African pouched. Okay, rat. This rat, this family of this rat, not this rat, Ronin, the family of the rat, that is a giant African pouched rat. They are also phrased or termed as hero rat. Okay, when we talk about giant African pouched rat, they are also termed as hero rat, like this. As these are the rats, one thing that is to be added, these are the rats who are also able to identify the disease of tuberculosis. Yep, that's correct. So see, these are just a gift of Mother Nature to the humans. A rat who can identify the warlords and the diseases as well. Right? What is the name? What is the family here? African pouched rat. First thing. And which is the rat which has come into the news right now? Okay, it is the name Ronin. Right? So please make it clear, guys. Ronin, what it is? It's a rat belonging to the African pouched rats family. Okay, and has identified 109 landmines. Okay, and these family, not Ronin alone, the whole family of African pouched rats, they are also famous. Famous for what? For identifying diseases in humans such as tuberculosis. Okay, so coming to the next segment here, that is the MCQs related to the topics. So it is with regard to the African pouched rat only. Okay, so here we go. Consider the following statements with APR, that is African pouched rat. First, it is listed as critically endangered in the IUCN Red List due to habitat loss in the sub-Saharan Africa. Apart from that, second, the use of African pouched rats for humanitarian purposes is an example of bioremediation. Fourth, the deployment of African pouched rats is limited to African countries due to legal restrictions on wildlife transfer. So what do you think is the correct answer? So let's go ahead. Okay. The first statement, it is the species has been used for detecting landmines and tuberculosis due to its advanced olfactory capabilities. Okay, the first statement, this is correct. Second statement, critically endangered, no, they are literally nowhere endangered, nowhere threatened, nowhere vulnerable, nothing. Good ample quantity, healthy family, good rats, okay. helpful rats basically. And yes, not endangered, not vulnerable, not extinct, nothing. They are nowhere mentioned into the list of any environmental protocols, diaries, or books. Okay, neither the IUCN, nowhere. Right? So, second statement is wrong. So, third statement, the use of African pouch rats for humanitarian purposes is an example of bioremediation. Okay, that's correct. And the deployment of African pouch rats is limited to African countries due to legal restrictions on wildlife transfer. Absolutely not like that. Okay, so statement 2 and 4 are wrong. Okay, so what will be the correct answer? So we cannot go ahead with statement 2 and 4. So option D can also not be there. Option A, that is one only. The one statement is correct. So is the third statement. So that is why the correct answer is yes. Yeah, very good. Anupali dear and others, you to answer. What is that? Option B. That is 1 and 3 only. So statement 1 is correct. As you can see, African pouched rat, the scientific name being Chrysotomus ansorgi, has been what? Successfully trained by the Belgian NGO named as Opopo. What is Opopo? It's an NGO based in Belgium to detect landmines and tuberculosis through their smell. And these rats can sniff out TNT as well, that another type of landmines, and are light enough not to trigger landmines. They are also used to detect TB in human sputum samples, are performing conventional microscopy in speed. Second statement is incorrect. Okay, they are not listed in any critically endangered. In fact, the species currently not threatened. And simply it has what? The wide distribution across the sub-Saharan Africa. Third statement is correct. The use of rats detecting mines and diseases is an innovative example of bioremediation in a broader sense. Right? Next. Fourth statement is incorrect. There is no bar, okay, in transferring of any type of wildlife species. Okay, there is no international barrier that prevents their deployment for their humanitarian purposes. Okay. Next, consider the following statements with regard to BIMSTEC. First, promotion of economic growth and social progress. Second, enhancement of regional connectivity. Third, elimination of nuclear weapons from the Bay of Bengal region. Fourth, cooperation in counterterrorism and disaster management. So, which of the above are part of BIMSTEC's official objectives and areas of cooperation? So, come on, guys, quickly. You have got 5 seconds to answer. You can go ahead. So what's the correct answer? Here we go. The statement 1 is correct. So is 2. Third is wrong. And fourth is correct as well. So third statement is wrong. So I cannot go ahead with B, C, and D. Right. So what is the correct option? Option A. That is 1, 2, and 4. So what are the objectives, core areas of cooperation, or the sectors of cooperation in BIMSTEC? So they are trade, technology, and energy, transport and communication, counterterrorism and transnational crime, though it is mentioned, but nuclear word is nowhere mentioned, right? So environment and disaster management, public health, agriculture, connectivity, etc. And please make it clear that elimination of nuclear weapons is not part of BIMSTEC's mandate. Okay, as simple as that. Trade, transport, communication, internal security it is, but not anything related to the disarmament, nuclear disarmament. Okay. Next question. With reference to the imposition of President's rule under Article 356, consider the following statements. First, the President's rule can be imposed in a state only after the recommendation of the Governor. Second, once imposed, it must be approved by both the Houses of Parliament within 2 months. Third, maximum duration for which President's rule can remain for force in a state is 3 years. And fourth, during President's rule, the Legislative Assembly of the state is automatically dissolved. Come on, guys. Go ahead. You got 5 seconds. C. So let's see what is the correct answer. See, fourth option is wrong. Right? That is, during President's rule, Legislative Assembly of the state is automatically dissolved. Right? No, it is not automatically dissolved. it is dissolved only after the recommendation of the president. Okay, it is never automatically dissolved. Okay, so option C and D could not be there as it possess, okay, option 4. So what is the correct answer? Option A, that is 1, 2 and 3 only, right? Okay guys, so that's it for the session today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope these are the sessions that are providing you some good amount of knowledge and value addition that will help you for sure in your journey, that is converting your tag from a common man to an IAS, IPS, or maybe IFS or IRS officer, landing your flight from your home to the Queen of Hills, that is Mussoorie, 6,000 feet above the sea level, right? That is the institute termed as Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, right? You want to be there, no doubt. And we at StudyIQ IS English channel will be doing our best, performing our best to convert your dream into reality. Your dream, our mission, right? So thank you so much, guys. And if you wish to connect with me, okay, so here are my social media handles. So for Telegram, okay, if you wish to connect with me over Telegram, so here it is. The channel name, study underscore with underscore Praveen. Okay, so study with Praveen. You can just go ahead and search with the name. Okay, you will get my channel. And apart from that, my Instagram is also there. Okay, wherever you wish to connect, that is Praveen Mishra underscore 2107. Okay, so guys, please do subscribe for the channel as well. That is our StudyIQ IS English, and stay tuned with the all updates of the channel. Every day we do provide you some good amount of current affairs as well as polity, art and culture classes on the very same channel. Okay guys, and apart from that, yes, do let me know your feedback into the comment section as well. Thank you once again. See you all soon in the next session. Good day, take care, study well. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.